Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy, Mr. Ray, baby, and we got another episode of Mr. Ray's Wealth Academy. And so we've been teaching the wheel. So today I want to take everything I've been teaching you over the last week or so, and we're going to put it all together, and I'm going to let you know how to time the wheel. All right. And so in the wheel, we always start the wheel by selling a put, right? Selling a put on a stock that we don't mind owning at a price that we want to own it at. All right. And so that strike price that we set, we always set it below the current market value, at least 10% below. And so if the market price ever breaches that strike price, baby, then we're going to get a sign. But that's okay. We're okay because we're in the wheel, baby. And so we're going to take those assigned shares and now we're going to sell covered calls. And for selling those covered calls, we're going to receive a premium in return, baby. And so on both sides of the wheel, we're collecting a premium. And so today, what we're going to do is talk about sharpening your entries, baby. And we're going to use three tools. And so the first tool is the VIX. The VIX is going to tell you when. And then we're going to look at the RSI, and that's going to tell us the timing. It's going to confirm it's time to get in. And then we're going to look at support and resistance. That's going to tell you where you're going to set your strike. And so all three of these working together is going to help your wheel keep running. All right, let's get into this thing. All right, so let's talk about the wheel in 1 minute. This is a quick refresher so nobody's lost. Four beats. First, you sell a put on a stock that you want at a price that you want to pay, okay? And if it expires, you keep the money and you reload, okay? If you get a sign, congratulations, you brought a quality stock at a discount, baby. Now you turn around and you sell a covered call above your cost. Oh, what happens if I get called away, Mr. Way? That's all right. You just bank the premiums and you start the wheel all over again, baby. Come on, somebody. Now, assignment is the plan, it's not the penalty. And everything, the premium, safety, the outcome, it's all decided on the entry. And that's today's focus, baby. When do you enter the wheel? Right. So think of this thing like it's a dashboard, okay? And it's going to be able to tell you what's going on. So the VIX is the weather report. Before you step out of the house, you're going to check to see if it's raining or if it's got good weather, and so you know how to dress. Same way, but the VIX is going to tell you, baby, if the market is hot, right? It's just the weather report for the whole market. What's going on in the market? And so what it does, it sets what the premium sellers are going to get paid, baby. If the VIX is high, baby, that means we got high premiums. And then we're going to look at the RSI. And this is more like the speed thermometer, okay, on the stock that you're going to be trading. It's going to be telling us whether the stock is stretched or whether it's coasting and losing steam. And then we're going to look at support and resistance. These are your guardrails, and they're going to tell you exactly where to park your strike. Now, if you look at one dial alone, then you're just guessing. But if you look at all three dials and they are green, it's time to trade, baby. Let's get it. Think of the VIX like this, that you're the insurance company, okay? And VIX is the price of the insurance. Let's say it's hurricane season. The VIX is at 25. People are going to pay for coverage, baby, and you're the one that's collecting. Now, if the VIX is 12 or under, premiums are skinny, so you don't have to write those heat policies just to stay busy, okay? The key point is high VIX is an opportunity with teeth, baby. If it's above 30, what you need to do is cut your size, raise the quality of the stocks you're looking at, and only sell strikes that you generally love to own at that stock price because the premium is big because the risk is big, baby. And that's why some months you'll pay double. Same wheel, richer insurance market. The RSI. Okay. The RSI is a speed thermometer. Anything above 70, the stock's been running hard. Okay. There's a lot of buyers and they may be just about ready to get tired of buying, okay? But if it's below 30, it's being dumped. Sellers are getting tired. If it's between 40 and 60, really nothing to see. So here's the thing about it. If it's oversold and it stays oversold and the RSI is below 30 on a broken stock, it's just a falling knife, baby. That's not a bargain. That's why RSI is a confirmation dial. It's never the whole signal. Quality stocks first, and then we're going to look at the RSI second. Okay, here's the whole slide presentation, baby, in one sentence. Sell puts in distressed fear, sell calls in distressed greed. Okay? So puts, I want the RSI to be drifting down towards 30 on the stock that I really, really want to own because fear now is going to pay me twice. Okay? I'm going to get a better entry and I'm going to get a bigger, fatter premium. On calls, I want the RSI to be north on the shares that I want to own because I want to be renting in the strength. Okay. And so here's where mistakes are made on the edges. When you're selling a put in today's where the RSI is breaking down from 70, that means the slide is just starting. And then if you're selling calls at the bottom, you're basically capping your own recovery for pennies. All right, let's talk about support and resistance because this is where the real battle is found. Okay. Support and resistance are not just magic lines, they're memory. Okay. The stock remembers the highs and it remembers the lows. Okay. Support is where buyers show up the last time. And guess what? They showed up there the time before that. Resistance is where the sellers live. Okay. In round numbers, they look at the prior swing points, the 50 and the 20-day moving average. When are the big volume swings? That's where the battles are won, okay? The more touches equal strong level. And when the resistance finally breaks, it flips to support. And the ceiling now becomes the floor. All right, so let's talk about where we're going to put our strikes at. All right, we're going to put our strikes, the put strikes are going to be below support, and the call strikes are going to be above resistance. Okay, so here how it goes. The puts are going to be at or below real support. Okay. The market has to break and defend the floor before you're ever in play. All right. And if you do get a sign, you're buying where buyers have already proven that they'll show up. Okay. And then on your calls, always set your strike price above or at the resistance. Okay. Always above your cost basis. All right. The stock has to smash through a proven ceiling to take your shares. And even if it does, you're selling the strength at a price that you pick. Okay. So this is how both outcomes become acceptable. All right. That's the whole psychology on the wheel. No outcome you didn't sign up for. Right. I need you to make sure that you screenshot this slide when I'm all said and done, okay? Because this is the discipline, baby. This is 6 boxes, all right? It's got 6 boxes for the put and 6 boxes for the call, baby. I want you to read every one of them out loud before you make any trade. And hear me on this. If there's any one of them that's unchecked, I'm gonna need you not to trade, baby. The market prints a new expiration every single week. It's almost like there's always gonna be another bus come by, baby. Don't take the first one to come by. Take the one that's going in your direction. Okay? And the key point here, one of the things that's on this 6 point list is that earnings is non-negotiable, baby. You got to verify that date on the earnings and not just assume that your broker's calendar is right. All right, go to Earnings Whispers and make sure of the earnings. All right, and never trade around the earnings date. And then the other thing, always make sure that you never get more than 30% of a position in any account that you're going to do. All right, so 30 is the max. Those two rules keep you alive long enough for the rest to matter. All right, let me give you an example here. Let's say we have a trade on a stock, a fictional trade XYZ. Okay. The stock is trading at 100. It's proven that the floor, the support is right around 95 and that the resistance is right around the ceiling at 110. Let's say the market pulls back. RSI slides to 34, VIX jumps to 24. So now we got all three dials. The premium is rich, the fear is stretched, and I've got a defended floor to lean on. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this put at 95. Okay. If it expires, thank you. I'm going to keep that premium and I'm going to do it all over again. Okay. Now, if I'm assigned, I own it at 95 less the premium. So the call net is 93. All right. So let's say the stock recovers to 107 and the RSI is at 66. Now I'm selling a call at 110 above my ceiling and way above my basis. So every outcome on this map is one that I already agreed to. Okay. So say this out loud. This is the pattern teaching. This is not stock picking. Got to talk about the mistakes that people make. All right. There's 5 ways that people break this machine. Okay. Number one is they try to catch a falling knife. Come on, somebody. If it's oversold and the business is broken, it's only going to get more oversold, baby. So sometimes it's time to get out and cut your losses. All right. Never do a trade around the earnings date, baby. Never let an expiration cross an unconfirmed strike price, baby. Come on, somebody. And then number three is panic size trades. Okay. The VIX is at 35. That premium's high because the risk is huge. Okay. It's time to size down, not size up. Okay. And then 4, selling calls below your basis. All right. That's not income, baby. That's surrendering. You've already locked your unrealized losses into realized losses. All right. And then number 5, forcing trades when the premium is thin. Okay. Boredom is not a setup. All right. Notice that every mistake is a discipline failure, not a knowledge failure. All right. This checklist is going to catch all 5 of them for you. All right. 5 takeaways, and I'm going to let you go. 5 things I want you to walk away with. First of all, the VIX is going to tell you how you get paid. Okay. How much you're going to get paid. All right. The RSI is going to tell you when fear and greed is stressed enough for you to sell into it. The support and resistance is going to tell you exactly where the strike goes. Now, you're going to need all 3 of these agreeing, and the checklist is what turns your knowledge into the edge, baby. So I want you to do this is your homework. I want you to pick a stock that you want to own. I want you to find out what the support is, how low it is, and how long it's been staying there. And I want you to find the resistance, how high it gets, and what level that the RSI and the VIX is. And then you're going to know whether you got a chance to win at this wheel game, baby. All right, we're done for the day, but all roads lead to YouTube, baby. That's my hub. I need you to subscribe and hit the bell, baby, because new episodes are coming out every week. And so everything is out there. I'm on X, Instagram, TikTok, all of them, baby. It's all free because we are on a mission. This is my standard reminder, baby. This is for educational experience only. This is not advice. Options carry some real risks, and I need you to do your homework, baby. Know your numbers. Talk to a licensed advisor before you make any money moves, baby. So I need you to go out and build, prosper, and I'll see you next week.